Greetings and salutations, scholars. Welcome back to Scholars with a capital S. We are back for our second year of the podcast, and we're interested in doing a little bit of a revamp. I am your host, Rachel Listowski, and I am accompanied by the lovely
Lauren Fry.
And, today we've been discussing what can we do with the podcast. Obviously, our lovely Eli has moved on to brighter pastures. He's off at Indiana, and I wanted to, do justice to this project that he created for the program. And so kind of to welcome us back to this new year, we have a new class of 2028 that was recently inducted. They had their first president's picnic. And so Lauren and I, we were discussing, and we thought it would be a really good time to just reminisce on our overall experience here now that we're old fart seniors, which is crazy, heading into our fourth year at Binghamton University. And so let's see. I met you my freshman year, obviously, in Broom Hall. You were on the second floor. I was on the third floor. And looking at us now, we are very different people than we were. Very different. So
Evolved.
How about we open up with just like a refresher and introduction for those that haven't listened to the podcast or listened to Lauren's episode on the podcast, name, major, and like involvement on campus and just things about ourselves.
Yeah.
If you want to go.
So my name is Lauren Fry again. I am a computer engineering student. I'm a senior. I'm from Rochester, New York. I'm involved with IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. I work in the Scholar's Office. Yeah, those are the main things.
Yep. And my name is Rachel Listowski. So I'm also a senior, same class as Lauren, class of 25. I have been involved in many different things while I've been on the campus. But right now, I am one of the program assistants within the Scholar's Office. I am a political science and history major. I've been heavily involved in the Source Project. I've done 3 semesters of it. I was a peer mentor last year. I'm an ambassador for the Source Project. I also am a member of the ballroom dance team. I've been on their e-board for 2 years now. First as their treasurer, now as their programming coordinator. And I used to do a bunch of other things, which we can get into later when we talk about my colored journey here at Binghamton. I think that pretty much covers it. I have a cat that I love very much. So yeah, Lauren works on a farm.
I work on a farm over the summer. I've had that job for 3 years now. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, I remember literally our freshman year, we're sitting in the Hinman Dining Hall, and Lauren's like, I need to get a job this summer. You never had a job before, right?
No, I never had a job in high school. My first job was the summer after my freshman year of college.
Right, and you're like, I want to work outside. Lauren loves flowers and photos and nature.
Outdoors.
And it's so funny to know that when I met you, you had never worked, and I've watched your journey through this job for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Which is, like I said, there's some growth here. So I just wanted to start just addressing any new listeners, any new freshmen who might be listening to this. Coming to college can be so daunting. Lauren and I in particular were shy girls.
Very, very shy.
When we got here. Literally, I came with someone from high school as my roommate. She was my comfort person. Shout out to Caroline Hargrove. And it was really hard for me to step out of the box. I remember I initially tried to join an organization. I tried out for mock trial. I got on the team, and everyone was super kind and smart and awesome, but I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to interact with these new people. I have to be doing all this public speaking. And I got so overwhelmed by all of it. I literally ended up quitting within like a week.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
No, it wasn't long at all, which shocks people now because here I am, an ambassador for the Scholars Program, for the Source Project. I'm running GIMs. I'm speaking at open houses. Yeah. So it's just very different. Do you want to talk about your perspective when you first got here and how you're feeling?
Yeah, I've definitely worked up to the level of social friendliness that I have now. I was very shy as well. I came out of high school. Well, when I was in high school, I hunkered down on academics and stuff, as most of us probably did. And I played volleyball, but that was my only real extra fun social thing. So it was a crazy transition coming and living in a dorm for the first time, away from my family. I cried the first night I was here. Like, it was tough. The transition was hard, and it was an adjustment. I joined the ballroom dance team for a little while when I was I
You were
think I was a
freshman.
freshman when I joined.
Spring
yeah.
semester.
I eventually quit that. I've been involved in a bunch of random things. I was involved with WCRL, the Watson Combat Robotics League, for a little while, but I've really grown into the things that I'm doing now, and it just took a while to get here. I'm very comfortable, like, in the scholar's office with my job now, and I'm the president of IEEE, and I run GIMs also, and I've just really come out of my shell through all of these experiences. And Binghamton is, like, a really great place to step out of your shell because there's so many clubs and opportunities to do that and so many ways to learn about yourself.
Yes, 100%. So I met Lauren within the couple first weeks that I was in Scholars through another friend that I had made in Scholars, Edwin Hirsch. Don't know if he's listening right now. But when I first met you, you were just cute as a button, shy as a mouse, like
Yes.
so quiet. And it's so funny knowing Lauren as I do now and as close as we gotten because of like our time in the program together. But we're goofy.
Yes.
Like silly, goofy
Immensely
people.
silly.
And you would never, ever know that
No.
from who you would have been introduced to if you saw us as freshmen on this campus. And so kind of touching on what Lauren was talking about, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to start putting myself out there a little bit. I was getting more comfortable with myself, living alone, providing for myself, like getting my own meals, you know, being my own keeper, which
Yeah.
when you're at home, you have your
Yeah.
parents to really rely on, go to. Even if you have a more like liberal relationship with your parents, like I did compared to Lauren per
Mhm.
se, still it's a very different vibe to really just be responsible for taking care of your own health,
Yeah.
your own mental health, your own work ethic. And so I was like really committed, especially my sophomore year, to trying new things. And so that was when I tried out for the ballroom dance team. And I did that. And honestly, when I first started, I didn't really like it all that much. But I stuck around with it because I had friends on the team. Then I worked at Pipe Dream for the copy desk. I made amazing friends there. I had a really great experience. But I had to work really late night shifts there. So I was working 8:30 to 10:30 on Wednesdays and Sundays, which was pretty brutal. I also apprenticed at WHRW at the radio station, passed my certification so that I could do my own radio shows. At one point, I did a talk show with Lauren on
Yes.
WHRW. I became a member of the Binghamton Abortion Advocacy Coalition, which was really awesome, which I also found out about through a Scholars course, Scholars 227, about civic engagement, when I met the
Mhm.
president. And so I had dipped my hands into all of these things that I was genuinely very interested in.
Yeah.
But very quickly, I came to understand that I was doing way too much.
Yeah.
On top of being an academic overachiever, as most scholars are. So I'm taking like 18 credits. I'm a double major. I want to get a 4.0 every semester. I'm also involved in like 5 different clubs in which there's this little like part of me in my soul that's like, you want to be in the E-ward of all 5 clubs. And I very quickly realized I couldn't delegate all of my time and resources the way I wanted to all these places. So I actually ended up separating myself from most of them. I stopped working at Pipe Dream after about a year because I just needed to. And that's another important lesson I think we've all come to learn
Yes.
is we always want to do more. But you kind of just have to stick to the things that work best with your schedule, with your interests, with your strengths as like an individual,
Mhm.
whatever they may be. And then, you know, kind of move on from there, I would
Yeah.
say. Because now look at us. You are literally president of IEEE.
I know.
And that was such a whim, cute little decision that you made to be an ambassador of that club
when I was a
initially.
sophomore.
Exactly. And so taking those little steps of like, okay, I like the arts, or I am really interested in my major and I want to get involved in a society that's involved with engineering,
Yeah.
or I want to do writing or anything. Taking that moment to go to that GIM and taking that moment to, you know, get yourself involved in whatever small leadership role they would provide for like entry level members
Mhm.
is honestly huge. And I'm telling you right now, these orgs on campus are begging for people to join the organization.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about like your experience with IEEE and getting members on your e-board and kind of
Yeah.
that struggle?
It's been tough in recent years with engagement in general across campus a lot of times. So our current e-board is we have 8 people and 5 of us are seniors.
Yeah.
So, now is a great time if you're a freshman or sophomore or junior even to really like try to get involved with these clubs, because I feel like a lot of clubs are in the situation where most of their members are graduating.
Because definitely, I think people always get intimidated when they like meet an e-board at a GIM. They're like, look at these people. They're so
Yes.
involved. They seem so much older than me. They're talking in front of this large classroom, like willingly, not an assigned presentation. I think people get overwhelmed like by that. And I got overwhelmed by
Me
that.
too.
And now we're running the GIMs. And so it's really important to realize that especially these student-run organizations, we have a really awesome essay on campus. We have
Yes.
literally everything under the sun, which is something I love about Binghamton. No matter what your major is and your like academic specialization, you can entrench yourselves in any kind of interest in organization and be part of a leadership role and something really fulfilling for yourself that you can still put on your resume and still talk about in interviews while also really just enjoying your time here socially and, recreationally. And so please do not be afraid to join that org, to talk to those
No.
e-board members. People appreciate it. Like you were saying, something we talk about in the scholar's office too, engagement has been a little wonky post-COVID over the years. And so students that really take the time to want to be involved, to pick up these roles on these e-boards is really important. It's like kind of monumental
Yeah.
for us. And so really don't be
It
discouraged.
can totally be hard at first, and it's normal to be uncomfortable in a new environment, but it's so easy once you're there to become comfortable and to get used to it and to step out of your shell and to really become involved in the way that you want to, but you're just scared to.
Exactly. And something that I find unique about college is that when you're doing extracurriculars in high school, right, you're working with a coach, which obviously you still do if you do sports here with the actual athletic department. Or if you're doing a club, it's usually run by a teacher that's getting like a stipend in the high school, right? But you come to Binghamton and you see all of these flourishing organizations that run these huge events that have performances and meals and showcases or guest speakers, all this stuff completely organized by students, completely run by
100%.
students and fulfilled every year by a new batch of people that step up to the plate that want to be involved because they actually care about something. And that is
It's really
so
incredible.
unique too.
Yeah.
Obviously, other campuses do this as well, but it's something that I find that's very unique to college in that you're probably, most of you, if you're a freshman, you're turning 18, you're going to be like legally considered an adult. But when you get here, you can actually like take your future into your own hands and build something on your own without the kind of overview of an adult, which is something you're not used to. Like literally, our student association is like a multi-million-dollar company technically, run entirely by undergraduate students. There's some professional staff that are,
involved with the finances.
exactly, that do stuff. But our vice president of finances, who's like technically the CFO of the company, essentially, is just a normal undergraduate student that is super dedicated and hardworking.
Takes on so much responsibility and
that's your
awesome.
peer.
Yes.
So, looking at who I was when I got here and how quiet I was and the fact that I made myself so sick that I quit mock trial. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm never going to be able to make my own friends. I'm never going to be able to put myself out there like you see other people doing. Because, some people just have the natural acuity for it. And now here we are, hosting a podcast. You and me,
It's crazy.
the shy little boogers.
These years, you really mold into a better version of yourself, or you can if you allow yourself to. And it's another big thing is allowing yourself to be inspired and want to be like other people that are like pushing really hard and doing lots of things. It's like your fellow little idols, you know?
Yes.
It's like normal students everywhere. So impressive and it's so cool.
I think about some of like our RAs when we were freshmen and someone like Don Bossi, so involved in so
Right.
many areas on campus about like justice issues that he felt were important, and so friendly, funny,
Yes.
confident, personable. And I would look to that and be like, okay, can I do that one day? And now I'm finding myself mentoring students that are coming in, and people are coming to me to ask questions. And that's a really, you know, almost existential experience, because it's like, wow, I cannot believe that we are now at the point where we are seniors and we've journeyed through
You've
3
taken
full
on
years of
these
this.
roles that you once looked up to.
Yeah, and everyone always says, oh, college is so formative, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You're probably sick of it at this point.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to be so life-changing for you. But truly, the ability to actually be independent and make choices for yourself that align with your, you know, personal interests, your personal morals, your personal goals, it's really fundamental for our growth. Like, Lauren and I are about to go off and enter like next stages of life here.
Yeah.
And we just came in as little babies. And so you might find yourself overwhelmed or thinking that this is too much, or that, you know, you can't possibly see yourself putting yourself out there in these kinds of situations. But
it's baby steps.
it's baby steps. All of a sudden, I was like, why am I talking? Like, why am I able to talk in class? I couldn't do
Yes.
that before.
Same.
It just
It
happens
happens.
with the little steps and the fact that you surround yourself with other people. Like, you are naturally going to grow so much more comfortable with yourself and sitting with your voice and your opinions and your thoughts. So, any closing thoughts? Any motivational words?
Allow yourself to be inspired. Remember to have fun and to do what you're passionate about and stay focused on that. But also at the same time, work really hard and push yourself to do things that you're uncomfortable with as well. Because if you can meld those two things and do something that you're passionate about that you were once uncomfortable with, it opens up a whole new world of opportunity. And I think that's super
100%.
important.
Taking yourself out of your comfort zone is the biggest thing, and it can be the smallest thing as well to do that.
Yeah.
Whether it's, okay, I'm going to be okay with going to the dining hall alone today.
I was just going to say that.
That was a huge problem for me.
Yes,
Like,
it's scary.
I was terrified.
Yes.
Absolutely terrified to just walk into C4 and grab like a chicken sandwich. I was like, oh my God, I'm alone. Oh my God. What if I run into someone and I have to say hi? I swear to God, I would like be debilitated because I didn't want to do that. And so those little steps, and like you were saying, it's really important. People get so bogged down by, I have to build my professional life. I have to take all of these perfect, clean, precise steps in this time that I'm allotted here, take all the right elective classes, take the right minor, and then I can get into the best grad school, or then I can get the best job that's the most high paying. And it's like, honestly, the thing that's going to pay off the most for you is, like Lauren was saying, follow your passion and your interests. Join that org that's just fun, okay?
Yep.
Whether it's literally the board game club because you love board games, or Mafia Club because you love to play Mafia. We have one of those, okay? Do that, and when you're passionate and involved in something you care about, you're going to find yourselves literally like innovating organizations. You're going to find yourselves
You're
coming
going
up
to take off.
with
Like,
brand new events. You're going to be in high-ranking positions on those e-boards, and you're going to have something that you've built with your own hands, your own passion project, that you can then espouse to other people. And that's going to be so much more impressive than you putting a line on your resume that you're like, oh, I was a general body member of this like pre-professional organization and I did nothing. So really sit there and let that settle in as you think about these next few years that you're in college, because truly everyone's anxious. Everyone wants to plan ahead. Everyone wants to prep. But follow your heart, because your major could change, your circumstances could change, your interests could change. And all that matters is that whatever you're doing is genuine and that you're putting in the work and the effort, just like Lauren said, to step out of the comfort zone. And you're going to walk out of this experience no matter if it looked like the way you planned it to, whether it looks nothing like you planned it to, and you're going to be proud of the person that you've grown into and how much you've changed over, these 4 fundamental years, because they're really the growing up stage.
Yeah.
And Lauren and I sound like old wise sages when we're actually just people in our very early 20s.
Yep.
And we're going to leave undergrad and we're going to enter the workforce. And we're going to be like, wow, what little idiots we were talking on our podcast. Like we were the wisest people in the world. Well, we have
It's so true.
20 million more lessons to learn.
Of course.
But,
You're going to learn throughout your life and change throughout your life. And I know that that's coming, but I know that over these past 4 years, I've molded my future into something that I'm happy with and proud of. And I'm excited,
Exactly. So give all of yourselves a little pat on the back if you're nervous. And
you got this.
Exactly. You've got this. We're here to support you. Please, everyone, hopefully, whether you are an old scholar or a new scholar, please stop by the office. Give us a shout.
Come visit us.
Say hi, Catherine, Morella, the Laurens, me. We love to talk to you guys.
We'd love to see you. Please come into the office.
Yes, please don't hesitate to stop by. And I wish you all the very best luck on this very first semester. And, like I said, Lauren and I are always here if you have any questions or advice that you need. And I will say, a new feature that we are adding to this podcast is we want to hear what you want to hear about. Our goal here is to kind of be more conversational, more topic-based. And so if there's anything you want to hear us talking about, whether it's scientific phenomena or the fact that, as Morella said, J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced, I want to know.
Anything.
So please, we're going to send a link out with the posting of this episode, a form for you to submit any suggestions, which I would love to hear, any people you want to hear on the podcast. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much. I hope you all feel inspired and excited about your futures here at Binghamton.
By our wise and well-articulated words from your upperclassmen. But yes, I hope you all have a lovely day as you are listening to this, and we will be back next time.